Ska vi se. Klickar vi lite här och så klickar vi lite där. Ja, det är bra. Då har vi inte en hotfull fråga idag. Musiken ska av med. Så. Klickar där så kommer det ny musik. Svaret är ja i spel. Samma här. Aldrig varit där i verkligheten. Det ligger lite långt bort. Men man har varit i Innsmouth många gånger. Det är typ allt som har med... brukar utspela sig där. Allt som har med Lovecraft att göra. Då ska vi se. Det här är alltså till Innsmouth Case. Det ska vara en lite kortare textbaserad grej. Så det ser bra ut tycker jag. How long to beat sa typ 30 minuter, så vi får se. Vi kör igång. Hoppas allt är bra med Spyware idag. Forward. We're fans of the strange world of Innsmouth, but recognize the problematic beliefs of H.P. Lovecraft. This game has been produced by a group of people who believe in inclusion and equality. Tjenare Susanne, det var inte igår när, då streamar jag inte. Tjenare Svedlund, 30 minuter tar du på 20. Jag tänkte mer det tar kanske 2 timmar eller något. Your progress is in the story will be saved at the end of each chapter. 35 chapters. Korta kapitel i så fall. At the end of a chapter the screen fades to black and green save icon appears. Bottom right. Always end the game after such a save point to make sure none of your progress is lost. Det kommer Speed Mouse med. Du, jag drack den där Red and Black ölen. Den var helt okej. Spyro har ont i ryggen och ena benet. Klarar sig utan idag. Det är ju bra i alla fall. Ett steg i rätt riktning. Hur är läget med Susanne? Hur är läget med Svedlund? Och hur är läget med Speed Mouse? The last ray of sunshine filtered through the blinds of your empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke and canned ravioli fills the air. Jag älskar canned ravioli. Så jävla gott. Till och med Ica Basics ravioli är god. The screeching tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the street tells you that it's gone 8 p.m. People on their way home, finishing their day. You should join them. Tjenare OP, hur är läget med OP? Det är bra med kakan. Bra med Speedmouse. Kanon. Fint sir, lagar ihop en massa matlådor. Jag fuskar, jag köpte en sån här fryst tacopaj. Jag ska ta med till jobbet imorgon. Så gör jag matlådor imorgon istället. Nu är det bara tvätten kvar. Nice. You decide to stay at your desk eller go home. Jag antar att om vi går hem så händer det inte så mycket, så vi sitter kvar. Jo då, det är fint här med, vet du. Jag har städat både hallen och köket. Jag var duktig idag. Your day was long and frustrating. You're running out of ideas on how to handle the calls of people who want money from you. A cold shiver runs down your spine as you flick through a pile of unpaid bills. On the top of a pile is a reminder from your landlady. You're 2 months behind the rent. Yikes. The next one is a 3-figure invoice from a games company for in-app purchases. Okay. You tried to claim them as business expenses in your last investigation, but somehow your client refused to pay. Tjena Goliat, hur är läget? Vad blir det för matlådor då, Svedlund? Now there's the second reminder from your internet provider threatening to cut off your connection. You might take legal action because without the internet you can't work or live. You really need more in-app purchases. Your lawyer, a cigarette or some fresh air. Vill de att man ska gå ut igen? Behöver lite frisk luft, va? You jerk open the blinds. Among the dust, the last rays of light shine into your eyes like a laser sight in a spy flick. It takes a few seconds for your eyes to adjust. Your gaze settles on the Horns and Hoovers pub across the street. Då är volymerna, de duger eller? Ska vi gå till puben? How many simple jobs this dive has given you? Jealous wives, whose husbands you had to spy on. All you had to do was lie in wait at the window and take pictures of them coming out of the dirtiest hole in town. Close the window before you see anyone you know. 4 med hjortskav. Damn, lyxigt bro. Och ris. Det är gött. Sen vill jag 4 låd med fläsklägg och rotmos. Fan, hur många dagar jobbar du på en vecka? 8 dagar. You breathe a deep sigh. May not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. Looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching old mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Since the early afternoon, you've been staring at the foreboding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now nothing stands in the way. Suddenly you hear someone at the door. Who is it? Spyro har testat mycket ny mat och typ vi inte ätit förut. Vegetariskt med bönor. Allt varit över förväntan. Vegetariskt brukar vara ganska gott. Grillad paprika på burk kändes udda, men jäklar vad det kan höja en rätt, ja. Just det. Jag har ätit grillad paprika en gång, men då åt jag typ istället för en sallad så här bara. Det är nog bättre om man har dem i maten. Goliath försöker skaka liv i sitt Dreamcast med lasern, något som en borrmaskin. Kanske inte är helt optimalt. The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pauses. Then in a breathly and melodic tone, you hear a woman utter, "Hello!" Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office all this year. You invite her in. Här behöver vi fan inte städa. Sånt gör man i verkliga livet. Det var 12 timmars pass. Aha, okej. Då är jag med. Då behöver man 2 stycken matlådor per dag. Ja? Idag blir det sista resten av en morotspaprika bönsås. Var det Cruella de Vil som kommer hälsa på eller? By the light of the desk lamp you now see more than a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. No doubt older than 40, maybe even 50. Hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress culminating in a decolletage heter det på svenska, men jag kan inte uttala det. Decollete. It seems to defy the laws of gravity. Det lät gött, ja. Jag kommer inte ens ihåg när jag käkade hjortskav. Har jag någonsin käkat hjortskav? Jag har ätit renskav har jag gjort. Vad är skillnaden? Någon som vet? The smoky eyeshadow, dark as algae, washed ashore. Blonde, coiffed, wavy hair under a dark beret. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned during her prime. She's completely different from your usual customers, nervous bankers with sweat stains under their armpits, convinced their wives have something going on with the mailman. Every move she makes is a calculated grace. Smooth as an eel, she walks towards you and sits down in the corner of your desk. Gå på farmors och morsans recept så det är beprövade godsaker till de här. Determined, she walks towards you. Ja, det var ju precis. Which is a little bold. Without asking you first, but as a professional, you're not gonna give anything away. Reptilmässa igen. Du är på den varje år, var upp här. 3 nya djur, vad blev det för något? She seems to want to play the seductive damsel in distress. The quiet, amused voice of your subconscious is pleased that this stranger may be sharing your enthusiasm for film noir clichés. The far louder voice is surprised that this woman seems to think that a sexy pose and revealing clothes could win you over. And both voices agree that they don't like being manipulated. Thank you for the follow. and both voices agree that they don't like being manipulated. You don't think that the stranger perched on your table is trying to recover from a hard-working day as a lingerie model, and therefore you see no logical reason for her behavior. When she begins to speak, her voice is smoky and full of promise. My name is Dahlia Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I was told you're one of the best. Come to the right place, lady. Jag ska inte kyssa några händer inte. 2 gånger om året. 2 skorpioner och en vandringsspindel. Nice. Nice. Är det samma sorts skorpion som förra gången, eller? You come to the right place, lady. What can I do for you? You sit back in your chair and fold your hands over your stomach. The woman seems a little irritated that her provocative behavior seems to have had no effect on you. Inga jävla handpussare här, nej. She moves from the edge of a desk and sits down on the chair opposite of you. Yes, I... As she continues to speak, the smoky seductiveness creeps back into her voice. My name is Dahlia. I need help. Då behöver jag mer detaljer. It's about my daughter, Tabitha. She has disappeared. You're pulling out paper and pencil. This is gonna be a walk in the park. A walk in the kidnapped kids park. Well, when did you last see her and where? The woman puts on a fake smile. We live in Innsmouth. It's a small port town north of Arkham. You frown. This is a bit vague. What was your child doing when you last saw her? What hobbies does she have? Oh, you know, kid stuff. Run around and play with her JoJo's, that sort of thing. Dahlia nervously combs her hands through her hair. JoJo's? What about her father? What does she look like? Having friends? What about her father? Are you separated? Often children reappear with family members. Dahlia smiles sadly. My little one can't swim well enough for that yet. The pen remains on the same spot on the notepad. What was that supposed to mean? Let her talk. Det var en annan slags skogsskorpion. Tjocksvans ökenspindel. Aldrig hört talas om. Säkert coola. Dahlia turns her gaze away from you and looks dreamingly, no, longingly, out of the window. Her father was a fisherman, like most in the village. A few years ago he went out to sea but never returned. His boat was washed ashore weeks later. His colleagues told me that he had finally followed the call of the waves. You keep quiet for a moment. Deceased family members are always a sensitive subject. My sincere condolences. She seems calm. Oh, someone I always knew that moment would come. I think my husband is in a better place now, and at some point I'll join him. Take a closer look at Dahlia's outfit. Judging by her behavior and clothes, you never would have taken her to be a fisherman's wife. You inquire about Dahlia's financial situation. What do you do for a living? I work in Innsmouth's tourism department. Why do you ask? Single mom, you're surprisingly well dressed. For a fisherman's widow and a single mom, you're surprisingly well dressed. Either the tourism industry is more lucrative than I thought, or your husband was quite well insured. You take a theatrical break, or is there another explanation? Dahlia smiles uncertainly. My family is wealthy. Old money and some kind of local nobility. I don't understand what this question has to do with my missing daughter. Dirty money might well be connected to your daughter's disappearance. Ask more questions. What does she look like? She's only 8. And the sweetest girl you can imagine. She's been missing without a trace since last week. None of her schoolmates have seen her and no one knows where she might have gone. She hands you a photo. This is my little munchkin. Okay. Good heavens, is this supposed to be a joke? Is that really the face of a child or a shoddy photo edit? Are you being filmed as part of a reality TV show? A bit of stomach acid and the last bite of lunch slowly but surely makes their way up into the back of your mouth. You throw up in the drawer of your desk or swallow it. Rätt ner I lådan bara. Hastily you turn to the side, open a lower drawer and immediately vomit into another pile of bills you've forgotten. This job will be the death of you. Sheepish, but somewhat relieved, you close the drawer and gently wipe your mouth. When you stand up, you stare into Dahlia Mar's raging face. Did you just vomit at the sight of my daughter? Unpleasant. That was just my alcohol and medication problem. With the back of your hand, you wipe the slime off your chin. That was just my alcohol and medication problem. Dahlia continues to stare at you like something the cat has left outside the door. I see. The matter of your spontaneous vomiting seems moot and quickly forgotten. Should you be concerned that she brought this story so easily? Do your daughter have any friends? She might be staying with classmates, sport club members, anything like that? Very strange. You're about to ask if the girl at least had imaginary friends, but you hold back. JoJo's. Hold on, JoJo's? Ring ring, can you hear that? That's the 90s calling and they want their outdated toys back. Dahlia blushes. Normally you would find it quite attractive, but the case of a missing girl beckons, and you're utterly unconvinced by the way this woman pretends to be a mother. Let the matter rest. This lady probably won't win the Mother of the Year award, but that's not your problem. At least she seems to have money. The profit from it, you should probably go easy on her. No further questions, Your Honor. Välkommen Virus. Hur är läget själv? Här är det bra. Kan inte klaga för mycket. Det är måndag imorgon, man. Där hade det varit annars också, liksom. No further questions. You mumble more to yourself than to her. Dahlia stretches her neck imperceptibly. No doubt she would like to take a look at your notebook. Your pen hovers the notes you've taken. Missing daughter and dodgy lady. That's it. You worked with less. Accept the case. Missing person case, nothing unusual. The conventional little girl runs away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library. Should be pretty straightforward. Before you can say anything, she drops a photo of the child and a roll of bills on your desk for your expenses. You nod slowly, trying to not drool down the front of your shirt. You haven't seen this much money in ages. You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to Innsmouth and only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. The few news items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. Skönt att du inte är ute och gör annat när jag streamar, ja. Fixa lite käk. Spyware nämnde det innan, ja. Det lät gott. In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination. The best fish, untouched beach promenade, authentic fishing people. Dahlia's giving you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She wrote down her phone number on the photo. Take another look at the picture before you pack your things. The next morning you travel by bus. Jag ska inte lifta, då blir man bara seriemördaren. Boston. The journey begins at a busy bus station. There's supposed to be a bus line that departs from here to Innsmouth. Buses, you think to yourself, are not only an environmentally friendly means of transportation, but also easy on your wallet. Sadly, the departure boards aren't much of help. New York, Maine, Rhode Island, no trace of Innsmouth as a destination. You wander around for a while until you notice a cleaner eating a sandwich on the side of the vending machines. Vi pratar med henne. Excuse me, where can I find the bus to Inns? Without letting go of his sandwich, the cleaner points to an abandoned counter in the dingiest corner that a public bus station could be capable of. and gives you a nod indicating that anything that can be said has indeed been said. You find that the counter is elaborately decorated with cobwebs. It's a bit early for Halloween preparation, but at least someone's made an effort. At the moment nobody seems to be there. You press your face against a plastic window to peer into the room behind. Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? I have to go to Innsmouth. No one's there. Suddenly out of nowhere a bus ticket appears on the counter. Might the trip be free? Just take the ticket. Joink. Det står väl faktiskt joink. In all likelihood the ticket was already on the counter and you simply hadn't noticed it before. Someone must have paid and just left it. This is what you tell yourself while you're looking for the departure gate with the ticket in your hand. Where's the bus hiding? In between the polished greyhounds and travelers stowing their luggage, saying goodbye and drop entirely into the seats, there's a kind of dumpster. A dumpster with windows and wheels? No. It's actually a bus. It's a bit on the rusty side, and even from a distance you sense strange smell. Is that sulfur? You're not convinced how this thing is supposedly to drive. In its vicinity, everything is noticeably quieter than at the other bus stops. The people getting on show no signs of emotion. Nobody's trying to jump the queue here. Instead, the passengers move past the bus driver at a uniform speed, one after the other, shuffling up the creaking steps. Each two-seater bench is occupied by individuals, as if they want to make sure not to come into contact with their fellow passengers. The sign says Innsmouth. No departure time, no stopovers, just Innsmouth. Undecided, you're standing on the stair of the bus. Talk to the driver, show your ticket, sneak past in silence. Vi visar biljetten. You hand the driver the ticket. No reaction. At least you can't make out a reaction. The lighting is poor and the shadow of his dusty driver cap covers most of his entire face. You notice something strange on his neck, but you can't quite make out what it might be. You're standing in the door waiting for an okay, a nod, anything. The sulfur odor has increased. A queue has formed behind you. No one is pushing or complaining. The people wait quietly. Just keep walking. You travel through the center aisle. You don't remember the bus looking this long from the outside. Surrounded by shabby two-seater benches and some already occupied. One traveler per row. The last bench is free. Looks like the upholstery is torn in some places though. Or has it been slid open? You can see springs with sharp wire edges and some sticky liquid seems to have been leaked onto the floor. Why didn't you just sit down in one of the free rows? Here in the back, everything is occupied. Most passengers seem to have purposely sat down in the aisle seats, blocking off the window seats. Maybe this is an opportunity to get a little closer to the common Innsmouth visitor. Jag vill sitta själv. You've always been the cool outsider. At least that's what you'd like to tell yourself. So you take the back row, which you have all for yourself. Won't take too long. We should have paid a little more attention to the map. The smell of sulfur rises into your nose again. Jättekladdkakespindel. You're trying to sit down carefully without tearing your clothes on the wire springs of the seat cushion. Suddenly a jolt. You can't balance and you're pressed into your seat by the most mysterious of all invisible forces. Gravity. Bus starts without a warning. Because of the abrupt start, a bunch of yellowed paper has rolled across the dirty floor. Right in front of your feet. You pick it up. Look at that, a newspaper. Innsmouth Illustrated from April last year. Spread a newspaper on the seat and sit down. Comfy. Wonderful heaven. You lean back and spread your arms over the other headrests while the bus with its starting ending leaves town. That worked out quite well, especially if you ignore the little hiccups before. Satisfied, surviving the ranks of the passengers. Whoa. Dandruff shampoo must be worth pure gold. An army of bald heads stretches out before you. Sight makes you feel slightly queasy in your stomach. Maybe something in the water. Your mind starts to roam to Dahlia, to the money you'll soon be stowing under your pillow. And of course to this free vacation in a coastal town. In your mind you already come up with a list of fish dishes you want to try. The bus is turned on to an empty country road now, and you see uncultivated fields. Warm stuffy air in the bus makes you sleepy. Before you close your eyes you can swear that several passengers are turning their heads surreptitiously towards you. What the? Bus leaves the country road and turns off at a wooden sign and says Innsmouth. Journey continues, bumpily, narrow dirt road, potholes. Distant houses visible, seagulls circling the roofs of the outmost edge of the city. Slowly, passenger. Hey, whatever. Look to the side window. That's on. Bus passes by a huge. What is this? Scrapyard parking lot? Why would something like this be right here outside the city? You pass another wooden sign whose half-peeled writing advertises the Innsmouth Park and Ride area. A lot of cars looks like they've been sitting here for years. Sand covers the bonnets and windscreens. Front door of the bus opens with a squeak and you join the monotonous line of locals stepping out of the bus. Almost walking in step, you'll get closer to the exits. Walking down the steps, you have to protect your eyes from the sunlight. Turns out the window of the bus were tinted. The others shuffle off. Finally, Innsmouth. You examine your surroundings while you stretch your legs, trying to unwind from a stressful journey. No artist could have adequately captured the serenity and beauty of this place. Clear blue sky lights up the town square, which is paved with bright limestone and surrounded by neo-colonial buildings reminiscent of the 19th century. New England, fresh sea breeze, crying seagulls and locals going about their business. Kan man klicka var som helst. In the center of the square, water trickles from a fountain. As you stretch your limbs and breathe in the clean air, you're suddenly startled by the water feature right in front of you. Fountain is an enormous fish-like brass creature. An open jawline with shark-like fangs sprout brackish water down his massive, inhumanly contorted body. If that wasn't enough, there appeared to be human bodies squirming underneath his massive claws. Their faces are contorted as yours is right now. How long have you been standing here? Eyes wide open in shock, you feel utterly paralyzed. You start to scan the town square and notice more and more disturbing details. On every corner you spot ornamental statues and reliefs of fish. But these are not your classic harmless kind of fish. Hajar, tror jag. These are pagan symbols and grimaces of supernatural creatures from the darkest crevasses of the deep sea. In surrounding houses you can see faces pressed against the window, or the locals appear to be watching you. You suddenly start to think that the cries of the seagulls sound particularly human-like. They sound like humans crying out in pain. What happens to the scene from a few moments ago? Welcome to Innsmouth. Turn around. Whoa. Welcome to Innsmouth. How nice of you to visit. A small elderly woman waves at you from afar. She beams at you as if you were her long-lost grandchild. She seems very different to the boors you've met so far on the bus into town. Her squealing shakes you out of your nightmarish panic. It is so good to have you here. I've noticed you've taken very taken by our local fountain. It was built in 1704 by Abdul Necrotis, favorite artist and friend of Charles Dexter Tillinghast. Or Tillinghast, the founder of Innsmouth. The central figure was a present, and it was supposed to commemorate the travels together to Cairo. You can clearly see the Egyptian influences in Necrotis' work here and here. She points wildly in every direction. And here, but I'm sure you've already noticed this yourself, you look like someone who knows his way around art, she says with a wild smile. You're still in shock. Who the hell are you? Oh, have I not introduced myself? I'm ever so sorry. In front of you now stands a small plump person in a tasteless costume. Your rudeness doesn't seem to curb her enthusiasm in the slightest. My name is Muriel Pooping Place. Okej, det var också ett efternamn. I'm the director of the Parks Commission, Chief Tourism Officer, and head of the Welcoming Committee. Behind her, there's a ramshackle wooden information stand, lovingly decorated with balloons. Colorful painting sign reads, "Welcome to Innsmouth." Yura tiptoes over to her information stand and picks up a whole load of flyers and leaflets from the rickety display cases. She looks down at all the paper in her arms and briefly shrieks with laughter. My goodness, why don't you take this city map to begin with? Useful. Take the map and put it in your coat pocket. Would you like to find out more about our wonderful town, which has been awarded the East Coast Stunning Town Award for several years in a row? I'm looking for someone. Here I am. The small plump woman started giggling. Innsmouth welcomes you warmly, so you're looking for someone. It's not that uncommon for two lonely hearts to find one another in this romantic place. You see, I'm looking for this girl. It's always about a girl, isn't it? Tabitha Marsh, 8 years old. Her mother asked me to take on the case. You take out the photo and Mueller immediately rips it out of your hand. Oh, what a cutie, but I'm sorry to say I've not heard anything about missing girls. How awful. This sort of thing doesn't happen in Innsmouth. Perhaps you can have a look around at the beach or on the playground. A lot of kids around here, I'm sure that's where the little one will be. With an unnaturally wide grin, she hands you back the photo, turns around and makes her way over to accost another tourist family. You head into town. Sun was bright in the sky not too long ago. Already the first waft of mist creeping into the streets. Air feels thick, sun can no longer penetrate the fog. Time to think about where you want to go. You slow down, you lean your briefcase against the wall and start pacing up and down the quiet alleyway. You have an important choice right now. The city center is in the north. Even from afar you see the outlines of the old and ornately decorated buildings. In the square, you should find a police station here, the main shopping street, and of course the town hall. Innsmouth also has a harbor. From research you found out that this is a bustling area with a dreamy beach. You expect there to be mostly tourists. According to research, the only hotel in town, the Gilman Hotel, is located in the old town. Think about checking in. You should do with the freshening up and getting rid of that bus smell. Just as you're about to set off, your heart leaps into your throat. You've forgotten your briefcase. This never happened to you. You should take good care of the little you possess. There's nothing you can do about that now. You have to wait until your return journey to find out whether someone has handed it in lost and found. So you swear that the briefcase was already gone when you got off the bus. Vi ställde ju ner den precis nyss. Gå till hotellet. Recognize the roof from afar, and after a long walk, the Gilman Hotel. Must have been a gorgeous building, resembles an English county estate, but in its present state, it would be suited at the setting for a very predictable film about teenagers and chainsaw killers. Wild withered ivy has a firm grip on the walls, obscure the details. Gallery gargoyles melted into unreal shapes by acid rain, and acidic pigeon droppings lines the roof. Many window panes have been neglected for years. Only in a few places has a small area been wiped clean in order to see outside. 2 cars in the parking lot, a vintage car with large rust spot, and a large grey van. The kind of van you've always been warned about as a child. Titta på bilarna kan man väl göra. Look around to make sure the people owning cars aren't hiding somewhere with a shotgun. Coast is clear. You walk over to the antique car. You're not a car expert, but it looks antique to you anyway. Both seats inside are made of white leather. A bit tacky. Turn away from the antique car and look towards the van. No writing on the side. Regular registration plate. Windows in the front blacked out. Hang on. You have a brainwave. Maybe this is the van into which poor Tabitha had been pulled when she was kidnapped. When she was lured to her awful fate by sweets and lollipops. That sounds like utter nonsense. Maybe you would actually solve this case if you did some real investigating and you just didn't hang around parking lots. Walk to the town. Hope the inside has been looked after better. Beerman köpte det här 27 olika slut. Det blir ett slut ikväll i alla fall. Door is difficult to open. Shouldn't the staff be doing this anyway? With a loud creaking sound from the hinges and an exhausted panting on your part, you manage to open the door and enter the lobby of the Gilman Hotel. You wonder if guests are even welcome in this place. Köpte du det på Fanatical också eller? Jag tror inte jag kommer orka läsa allting. Jag börjar redan bli trött i halsen. First step says that a rotten floorboards hiding under the carpet. Paneling appears rotten. No way am I going to check into this moldy dump. Ska vi visst göra. Du köpte det på PS5, okej. Okay. Jag förbokar, på tal om PS5 så förbokar jag det här nya Sonic-spelet idag. Säg ingenting till min son för det är en present till honom. Vad tror vi om det spelet? Blir det bra eller dåligt? Sonic Frontiers. Det här var en skum typ. Before you let yourself be distracted by the interior design, blah blah blah, you walk towards the reception desk, blah blah blah, small greenish creature. Ceiling lamp. You can make out every individual speck of dust and dandruff on this dark green velvet collar and crooked shoulders. Figure smiles. His face unsettles you. You lean forward to get a better look. The corners of his mouth reach up all the way to his dried up ears. His smiles look like it's painted on. His beady eyes lie deep in the cavity of his skull and seem to stare into opposite directions. Has he even blinked yet? And on top of it all, he smells funny. How may I help? Welcome to the Gilman Hotel. My name is Cornelius Gilman III. How may I be of service to you? The man's gaze remained unchanged and his unnatural smile still seems to be etched into his face. Surprised he can talk. Some of the girl could have sworn he was an inanimate puppet. What's wrong with your face? Your beautiful eyes? I would like to book a room, please. I would like to book a room. You begin and manage not to blurt out in a different hotel. Perfect. The Gilman Hotel is delighted to be able to welcome you as its guests. May I ask whether you're in Innsmouth for business or pleasure? How long will you be staying? Would you prefer a view towards the beach or the skyline of the town? When would you like to be woken up? Do you sleep deeply? Are you traveling alone? Do you have family? Who knows that you're here? Can I interest you in our spa, fitness and wellness activities? Would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? How long can you hold your breath? Answer all the questions. You tick the box next to business. How long will we be staying? For about a week. Favorite view? Beach. Kanske man kan se om det händer något på stranden. Would you like to be woken up? No, damn it. Do you sleep deeply? Odd question. As deeply as my feelings for you. I never sleep. I can't be woken up that easily. I'm always by myself. Do you have family? I have this goldfish called Al. None of your business. Who knows that you're here? Al knows. Can you change spa fitness? Nope. Would you like to subscribe? No. Ska vi ljuga lite på den sista där. Can I go to my room? That was all I needed to know. Now all you need to do is sign here. Jado. XXX Noob Slayer 555 XXX. Yes, we can talk John Doe. Sadly, we're all booked up this and there's only one spare room. Here's your key for room 666. Enjoy your stay. Look at the key, which has magically appeared on the counter, and then your eyes slowly wander past the man to the wall where countless other keys are hanging. Go to room. Room 666, 4th floor, left wing. Walk up the stairs. And then you reach the floor. Endless corridor. Figure who seems lost. Didn't the building look like smaller from the outside? You walk down the corridor when you notice the figure approaching you. Your brain is mentally preparing yourself for benign hotel small talk. But wait, it's you. Oops. Nämen! Okay, go to my room. Det är att man kan klicka här uppe någonstans och så reagerar den ändå liksom. Så bara vara här nere. After 2 more confusing turns and giant mirrors, you reach room 666. Finally, you're going to drop your stuff up and take a nap. The door resists being opened. Jerk the key back and forth. Warmth. Energy saving mode. You don't even notice the rest of the room. Let's rest. No dust on the bed. Sit down. No exploding mattresses. You take off your coat and shoes and stretch out on the bed. And mild but an all-encompassing pain that you hadn't noticed before melts off your spine. Everything is warm and pleasant. You feel free and weightless. Young people call this a power nap. You close your eyes for 10 minutes, then you'll be ready for the rest of the day. Sounds completely convincing. You transition fluidly into your dreams. You only just closed your eyes. You're already somewhere else. Suddenly your words are very different. You're running in a desolate grey maze of winding alleys. You can hear the cheerful laughter of a small child. Ooh, dad joke. Jag börjar med Star Wars-frågan. Den har jag här nämligen. Då ska vi se här. Det här känner jag inte till. Vem är premiärminister av Camino? Vem är premiärminister av Camino? Finns alternativ om du vill ha. Save the child, take them home safe. Sprint down the path, turn around the corner. But there's no person to be seen anyway. What was that? Was that a shadow at the corner of the street back there? The silhouette of a figure? Alternativen är A. Kam Sala, B. Lama Su eller C. Tekal Mun. Kam Sala, Lama Su eller Tekal Mun. Vilka namn alltså. Run faster. The figure in the distance has already disappeared behind the next corner. Maybe you can still catch up. Nothing makes sense anymore. Wherever you move, you never arrive in the place you expect to. It feels as if slowly but surely you're walking right into the jaws of a massive monster. All of a sudden the walls close in on you and your path becomes so narrow that you have to walk sideways in order to fit through. Whatever's behind you is getting closer. Face the creature. Du visar på Lama Su, det var helt korrekt. Vedoklabb, ja. Men Lama Su var rätt svar så att du lyckades gissa rätt. There is no point in following this endless labyrinth forever. With bated breath you turn around and look down the street you just came from in order to face what is pursuing you. Tar vi det joket med då? I was sacked from the ice cream factory today. It was because I only work on 2 Sundays a month. I was sacked from the ice cream factory today. It was because I'll only work on 2 Sundays a month. Jag tror jag fattar skämtet. Beerman vill ha en sant eller falskt. Ska du få den, vet du? Vi ser, har vi någon? Tar den här. Ska vi se. Ska jag läsa för dig här? De egyptiska kvinnorna tillverkade läppstift av vax, ormblod och fladdermusögon. Är det sant eller falskt? De egyptiska kvinnorna tillverkade läppstift av vax, ormblod och fladdermusögon. Det här är den gula frågan, så det är långt tillbaka i tiden, alltså jag kommer inte ihåg vilka årtal det gäller, men Du säger sant, svaret är falskt. Det gjorde de inte alls tydligen. Your eyes refuse to look directly at it. The tentacled meatball right in front of you seems to be only a small outgrowth of the much larger but also shapeless and impossible creature that is following you. You begin to despair. You close your eyes. Your fear is gone. Nothing really look at that horrible. Didn't it actually resemble that creature from the cartoon series about a school full of monsters? He was naked and carries his 2 eyes in his hand. Jag kommer ihåg den. Så var det något så här typ som såg ut som något så här svartvitt randigt paraply. Vad heter den serien? Heavy steps announce the bizarre creature is approaching. Wait. Not looking directly at the creature suddenly allowed you to come to your senses again. You can hear steps, slimy, shape-shifting steps. Run or kick it in the face. Det stod i början att det var en dröm, så vi kick it in the face. Som att allt var sant utan att man hade fiskmåsögon eller något sånt där. De var inte kloka egyptierna. Förr i tiden hittades det på mycket konstiga saker. Nothing matters anymore. You shift your weight, swing your leg and kick. By Jove, you kick. Your initial plan was to kick that thing in the face. This is easier said than done with a shape-shifting blob, but you're lucky. Maybe a head will spontaneously form where your foot lands. Another sound. No steps this time. It sounds more like a wet sack falling over. Good kick. Heavy load has been lifted. You feel free. Wonderful dream. Kind of where your faces of conscious fear and defeat them. Yada yada. You have now relaxed. You sleep the sleep of the righteous or something like that. Oof. Your sleep is only interrupted when you hear a soft chant. Det här kan jag inte uttala. Cthulhu kan jag uttala. Resten får ni uttala själva, tror jag. Since a group of people has invaded your room while you were sleeping, carrying torches and pitchfork, they have squeezed themselves between the bed and the closets. Faces hidden by hoods. Your suspicion that radioactive waste is being disposed of in Innsmouth is confirmed once again. The light of the torches dances frantically on the wrinkled faces of the people staring down at you. shining beetle eyes, bulging lips. Seen his deformations many times during your short time in this town. While the crowd merely gazes at you like you were an animal in a zoo, a pop-eyed man with sunken cheeks leans over you. In his hands he holds something shiny. He's holding a knife right over the place where your heart is. The man remains in this position and clears his throats. Oh well, this is inconvenient. Hey, what the heck? A group of strangers invading the room, repeating chants and waking you up. Hey, what the heck? His arms slowly sink down. Irritated, he changes look. You don't know that yet? Despite spending a whole day in Innsmouth? Uncomfortable silence. Are you being serious? It's a sex cult thing, right? The hillbillies are only ever after one thing. As soon as a good-looking newcomer from the big city comes into the little village, they all want a piece of the cake. It's a sex cult thing, isn't it? Mommy, what's a sex cult? The voice of a child asks from the back. Shh, not now, someone whispers quickly. Brings a child to a ritual stabbing. Quiet now. The gaunt man, probably the leader of the group, swings the dagger through the air in an agitated manner. No, we're not a sex cult. Technically. Technically? To get a little more comfortable, you turn over on your side and lean on your elbow. Well, undoubtedly you might say that. He makes air quotes with his free hand. Physically intimate rituals, especially connected to the tidal movements and the people from the sea, are integral parts of our beliefs. But to immediately jump to sex cult is probably a bit exaggerated. Mommy, but what is it? Shh. Not a cult? Fine. You can hardly imagine these people here in the speedos and bikinis, let alone naked. Fine, then what are you? Scratches his head with the knife. Okay, so, what do you know? Did you notice anything weird today? Nope. Rolls his eyes. The others are doing the same. Okay, so where to start? Stranger sinks to his knees and thoughtfully taps the flat side of the dagger on the edge of the bed. Well, for starters, we all pray to Dagon, ruler of the ocean. This is, well, Dagon can change shape. He prefers the shape of amphibians or octopods. A kraken, someone in the crowd says helpfully. Yes, that's right, kraken. More than 100 years ago, the founding families of Innsmouth committed to following the order of Dagon in order to never go hungry again. Mommy, I'm hungry. Shh. Annoyed, the man casts a glance over his shoulder and then continues. On nights with favorable constellation of stars, we sacrifice infidels. Today is such a night. Waves his dagger. All those involved in such a sacrifice, gestures to the rest of the group, are in Dagon's good book for the rest of the year. He takes a deep breath. Dahlia Marsh is from one of the founding families. Well, she's pretty good at luring victims to Innsmouth that nobody will miss, you know? Pregnant pause gives you a knot in your stomach. And in addition, a group of chosen individuals will be united with Dagon's children. They perform the dance of the deep on the beach late at night when the moonlight shimmers green. You try to read a man's face to see if he's serious or not. The dagger aimed at your heart earlier makes the latter less likely. Must be a lot to process at once. Well, now that all the questions have been cleared up, the leader of the group brings himself into position again, clutching the handle of the dagger with both hands. Cthulhu, Confused and overwhelmed, you sink back on the bed. The dagger hovers ominously over your mouth. Sorry, Greg? What is it? He hisses, turning his head on without changing his posture. Well, it's just after midnight. Greg doesn't move. He still squints over his shoulder to his followers. It's what? What's the time? quarter past. I think we chatted for too long with our infidel sacrifice. We were a bit late to start off with. Greg drops his arm and staggers back as this news hit him like a blow. How can that be? Why didn't anyone say anything? You were all in the middle of it. Get out, everyone out! Greg waves his hand while still holding the dagger. Part of the group that is closest ducks slightly in order to avoid the blade. When everyone is left, he turns to you. Just wait until the next constellation. That will get you. You must of course come back to Innsmouth for that. You don't have the funds to get to you. Never mind. He stumps out of the room and closes the door. Okay. I don't know if your safe sleep tempts you. Just after midnight and your eyes are tired. Spend the rest of the night comfortably cuddled into bed. Yep. Well, then it's dawn. Walk into the bathroom and change. Walk through the corridors. Nice of you to bring the key. Would you fill out our questionnaire? You write obscenities in the different boxes. Såklart. With an icy smile, you write the wildest insults, balancing on the edge of the gallery that you can think of this early in the morning. You had to get that out. We like to ask questions. None of the holidaymakers that you met around town yesterday are anywhere to be seen. The bus leaving for Boston is waiting for you. It seems to be just waiting for you and a handful of other disfigured villages. Not a single tourist. They were smarter and arrived by car. When the bus started to move, you decided to stop thinking about it. Months later. Yeah. You jerk awake, soaked in sweat as usual. You're safe at home. Managed to put an end to their schemes, the kidnapping and all the lies. You've escaped, but you're still under the spell of Innsmouth. Bad feeling. You returned to Boston. You did everything you could. But an ending. No chapter? We have, yeah. Oh. Walk around. Discarded furniture half hidden in the bushes. The furniture seems to have been lying there for some time. Okay. Without a doubt. Vad var fläckarna på madrassen? Vin, tomatjuice eller målarfärg? Vin. Sure. Past the side exit. Fish on the menu. Garbage truck. Yuck. Given his brother is the only one of his kind. Staying here or sleeping on the beach. Nu är vi tillbaka här igen. Där behöver vi inte läsa flera gånger. Okej. Vi skiter i hotellet. I'm not going to check into this mold sinkhole. Better get out of here. Better go look for Tabitha at the harbor. Harbor is signpost much better than the local hospital. You wonder if a hospital even needed here. Half an hour walk, mile on carpet of cobblestones. Fewer and fewer residential buildings. Instead there's warehouses. Metallic clank from workshops. Raincoats. Probably fishermen who has errands to run. Catch a glimpse of the faces. Puffy eyes. Few clouds in the sky, there's no chance of rain. Why are they wrapped up like that? I wonder if they have a sixth sense for approaching storms. And from a distance you can already see the masts of the boats. Look around. View of the harbor is splendid. Boats of shapes and sizes coming and going, nets are being emptied out and fish seems to be endlessly splashing into huge freezer boxes. I don't know, fishermen from the movies. Och så lite prejudice om fiskare. If you're to the right, there's a fork in the road. Pointing further north, the inscription reads Innsmouth Paradise Beach. In the distance you can see something that looks like a church. Good it. On a hill overlooking the harbor. Stroll along the docks towards a cliff. Feeling relaxed. See the fishermen, they're not working, they're not doing anything, they're just standing there staring at you. What are you looking at me for? Speed up your pace. Swallow the provocative comments that you would like to hurl at the fishermen. Turn around again, they're all gone. Strange bunch. Closer to the church. A few dozen people outside the gate. They're discussing something. They're normal people. Able to assess the situation. Two groups with about the same number of people are confronting one another, surrounded by a few more reserved onlookers. Engraved on it, Esoteric Order of Dagon. Join the crowd, se vad de bråkar. Wow. Okay. Peek over the shoulders of the stocky figures in front of you, listening to the two men. And therefore, Dagon is the one God who created us in his own image. And his only son is Obed Marsh, who come to earth as a man, and he is Dagon himself because we... No. Counterpart. Bearded professor type. Jag är trött, Beerman, jag är trött. Ska bli skönt att gå och lägga sig sen. Dagon is the creator of the world, but he's above us. He has no children, or nothing even close to this kind of thing. Even saying that is heresy. It's in the writing of his prophet, Abdul al-Hazred. With a scrunched up face and high-pitched voice, the sailor repeats the last word. Abdul al-Hazred, what a load of horse dung. Man får vara trött. Det var alla tur det, annars hade jag nog suttit i fängelse vid det här laget. Crowd is on fire, fist raised, and the whole Obed Marsh was born by immaculate conception when Marianne Marsh was bathing in the sea story. What do you call that? Murmur of the crowd. Enter the church. Behöver inte stå utanför och diskutera religion, va? Two people standing in my way. There's a competition going as to can give you the most sinister look. I need to go in here. I don't think so. Scuffs the younger of the two. Yeah, I don't think you need to go in here. This is only for the children of Dagon. Tack så mycket, Svedlund. Så vill jag gå då. Not much to offer. Gå tillbaka till hamnen. Gå till stranden. Sova i 100 år, det hade varit skönt. The beach, the screeching of seagulls. An endless white, well brown, fine grey beach. Vatten, alger. You walk on the sand and closer to the waterline. Everything is simply grey. This is what you associate with a real vacation. Sea, cocktails, or television. Cocktails. The more paper, umbrellas, bits of fruits, and straws, the better. You rub your hands. You can hardly wait to blissfully collapse into a hammock with a drink in your hand. You were born for that. Everything looks grey. The murmur of the sea invigorates you. Feel a deep sense of longing within you. A serene sense of inner peace and freedom. Until the techno music starts. A monotonous beat. The sound seems to come directly from the beach bar a few hundred yards off in the distance, which appears to be surrounded by about a dozen people. What else is one supposed to do on the beach, apart from drink cheap cocktails and dancing to bad music? The strange grabs your attention. Kind of cage standing in little water, perhaps 12 feet wide and deep. You walk to the cage. Get close. Take off your shoes and socks and turn your trouser legs up a bit. In front of the cage. Visible line on the cage about 3 feet from the ground. The metal on the top half still looks quite stable. The bottom half must normally be submerged. Slimy black algae winds around the metal rods. Strange to you is the position or the size? Position? The dunes are not that far away. So even the high tide doesn't go to it. Even if the tide comes in, you think that the cage will never actually be completely submerged. But isn't that the point of these things? Start thinking about lobster cages. And then shark cages. That's all you find. The cries of seagulls are increasingly drowned out by the early 90s techno beats. One note in an endless loop. Bar is made from wooden planks. A nice countertop. An exotic canopy made from palm trees. The palm trees are no longer green, they're grey. The bar is flanked by wooden bar stools. Deck chairs, so you can get drunk while lying down. The bar looks busy, but now when your eye realizes the party is over. A dozen of people hang out here. A few surfer dudes. Empty cocktail glasses. Party! Guy with the long hair and sunglasses nods his head in time to the techno beat and taps along on the bar counter with his flat hand. There's no staff in sight. One of the tourist families spread out on deck chairs. Keep away from the party. I'll take a deck chair, please. Can't I just rest for a moment? Most of the chairs are free. All offer excellent view of the sea. Of course, you're going over to where the other tourists are. Nej, där har vi en turist alltså. Maybe they have to learn the language. Chronically bad-tempered children. Hard to miss with the loud chatter and tasteless tourist outfits. Hello there, I would like to say something. Do you know what these cages are for? Oh, those. We've just taken some photos of them. I think they're for children to climb on. Not meant for children, his wife chips in. That's why people here catch lobster and whales and things like that. Bullshit, the son murmurs. They're from the Middle Ages. People were put there to drown. I'm looking for this girl. Nope, sorry. Father says and goes back to sipping his fruit juice. Nothing, to hell with them. You get comfortable on the deck chair. Not too shabby. You've been near a beach the whole time, but couldn't really switch off. Haunting sense of danger. Luckily, the paranoia is gone. Spelet är bra, men det är jobbigt att läsa allting högt. Your eyes fall shut, håller på att somna igen. Det är inte sådär jättespännande direkt, men det är liksom... Det hade nog varit bättre att liksom inte streama det, tror jag. You notice a shadow when you're half asleep. There's a figure try to grab you and carry you away. Nu sitter vi här på natten. Nu ska vi se. Chilly wind blows on your face. This cage is going to be the death of me. You simply lie there as if dead. Your attempts to return to a more comfortable position are punished by stabbing pain in your behind. Some bit from the chair is digging into you. Cheap model dime tight asses, your mother weakly. The sun is now set, and all the holiday makers are gone. I'll be sitting in the warm hotel. The moon illuminates the beach. You stretch your tense neck when you notice some lights off in the distance. The lights appear to be moving and leading away from town. Vi går och tittar där säkert när de pratar om innan. Hang on a moment, you're on a beach, it's night, weird blinking lights. This is a rave, a UFO sect, or a sex cult. It's a rave. That makes sense. Raves has always been a favorite pastime of yours. Lycka till, OP! Tack för att du tittar förbi. You hurry along. You arrived. 20-30 people. They're naked under the rags, performing a sensual and seemingly uncontrolled dance. Okay. Not quite sure anymore whether you're a rave party or actually an exotic fertility ritual. Acoustics are bad. Could do with a rehearsal. That thing again. Watch. Take part. Leave. Take part. You sneak up to the group of dancers and attempt to seamlessly blend into the chaotic spectacle. You get swept up in the ecstasy of the dance. Yeah, saw the frogs. You enthusiastically imitate the chant. A few glow sticks have been dropped and lies abandoned in the sand. When you bend down to pick up one of them, you realize they're not glow sticks, they're algae. Past the bizarre masks with swollen eyes. A bit scary. From a distance, this horror part of the show would have been completely escaped you. The party seems to be shifting onto the next phase. They've stopped their ecstatic movements and stand still. Silence, complete silence. A strange hissing. Another group of amateur actors joins the dancers. They come straight out of the water and wear costumes more suitable for Halloween than a rave party. Greenish scales cover the costumes. Or is it professional makeup? Looks super real. De är real. Whoever come up with this mask seriously needs to see a therapist. When the first masked creature reached this group of dancers, you realize that these guys must have seriously trained for this gig. All of them have bodies you only get through years of hard physical training, guzzling loads of steroids. They're also stark naked. You tilt your head involuntarily. Some things on bodies are quite difficult to replicate, even with paper mache or plastic mold. You know this from your own Halloween craft endeavors. Move and react is even harder. It takes a little bit of power to tear your eyes away from the sight. The dance group seems to welcome the newcomers warmly. They mingle. Each of the custom giants seems to know exactly with whom they want to spend the evening. It does not take long, and every party guest is paired up with one of the fish creatures. You stand a little off to the side and watch as they explore each other's bodies. Then they start to, whoa, okay, this party is X-rated. So gasping for air indignantly, the couples are all rolling in the sand, groaning with pleasure. Only one of the custom giants has not found a partner. His milky eyes falls on you. Uh-oh. With one of the claw, he points at you and then at himself. Why the hell not? Get over here. What follows is private, and definitely not R-rated. You are fascinated, no thrilled with the fish mutant costume. The things you like best are the universal sexual organs, full lips and long tongue, the soft but deadly claws, the tongue. The bulging lips of the costume tastes of salt and makes you very thirsty. Could of course also be due to the fact that you're sweating and rolling around in the sand with this man. His long thin tongue explores the insides of your mouth. It touches the back of your throat and briefly causes you to gag, which almost ruins your sensual foreplay. That was wild. When the deed is done, you lie on the cool sand in your partner's enveloping embrace. All around you, the other couples do the same. Together you look up at the green hue and the starry sky. No words are needed. The man in the fish costume only makes hissing and bleeding sounds. But you have a deeper connection. This is rare. You feel at ease. Maybe for the first time in your life. Time flies much too fast. The rave party is over. Most of the dancers from Innsmouth start walking back towards the harbor on shaky legs. And so your parting is near too. You try to give him your phone number, but he plays dumb. He snarls and shuffles towards the ocean. Just when you think you found someone with whom you can live out your animal instinct, that person decides wordlessly to disappear into the sea. Typical. You watch thoughtfully as his head disappears between the waves. You're not 100% sure if you used this day to the fullest, considering the reason you actually came here. Neither are you sure who the guy and his friends were, and why they showed up in costume to an orgy, and well, some other things also remain unclear. With a sigh, you pat the sand off your clothes and make your way to the hotel. Vi checkade ju aldrig in. Nu är vi här igen. Struggle to find your way around. Was this awful gargoyle here earlier? Give up. The outline of the hotel roof. Can't make out its stylistic features. Empty parking lot. Okay. Your hand touches the metal handle. The hotel seems shut. Ring the doorbell. Surely it should be possible to wake up the concierge, the lobby boy, or the underpaid intern. Another Polish brass sign that reads, Best Hotels Competition 1928, first round competitor. Press the doorbell. Press the button a few more times. Nothing. Look for another way in. You walk around, metal bars in front of the windows. All the room seems to be in complete darkness. Give up. No one is allowed in or out. You've been like a gormless tourist in an hour or two trying to get in, just like you are now. Walk back to the street. You walk the street, the sun has set, you're lost. You have no idea how to get out of this godforsaken town. You aimlessly wander the streets. You're not completely alone. Groups of people with torches and pitchforks and knives and nets. Let's walk towards them. Prepare in some way. It's not. It would be alright. The people in Innsmouth sometimes behave a bit strange. Without a disguise, but with a winning smile, you walk up to the group of people. There! Seems the front man. He waves a torch in your directions. Okay. Considering their limping horde of deformed lunatics, they manage to surround you quickly. The light of the torches dancing in the rain makes the already scary faces look even more bizarre. They lick their bulging lips while they stick out the torches, knives and pitchforks to keep you in check. You wonder if the people of Innsmouth suffer from radiation poisoning. That would explain much. Hey, you there. A few hasty gestures. We're going to have fun tonight. He's looking at something or someone next to you before you consider what the hell is happening. Something hits you against the back of your head. You lose consciousness. Freezing cold, voices, whispering, arguing, raindrops. Cheek is pressed against something cool. Realize that lying somewhere out on the streets. The situation is not new to you. On several drunken nights in Boston, you have ended up near a trash can on a dodgy side street. This is perfectly normal. You groan as you raise your head and immediately regret moving. You have no doubt you were knocked out. You seem to be tied up. Okay, this is definitely not normal. You're on the town square. 50 villagers are gathered around you. They rest on their pitchforks and have thrown their fishing nets loosely over their shoulders. Start complaining. You decide to wallow in self-pity. You wonder if these gangsters have also stolen your wallet or emptied your bank account. What about your goldfish, Al? But that will never take away your online private detective license. Awake already? A voice croaks from above. It's the leader of the group, Abraham, who looks down at you triumphantly. You can see all the small tumors that are spouting from his chin. Yuck, you say. If you offended him, he doesn't show. He gives you a dirty grin. Hope you enjoy your stay in our little town today, landlubber. Enjoyed? I love it here. I hate all of you. Meh. Pretty difficult to shrug your shoulders while lying on the floor in shackles. That's why all your reply is meh. The old man shakes his head scornfully. You goddamn city dwellers and your indifference. Damn. You're a tough guy, I'll give you that. I wonder how long it will last when you're on fire. Fire? Before you can ask for a more detailed explanation, you're grabbed by the arms. Some fishermen have silently approached you without you noticing. They jerk you up into the air and carry you over the square. After a few yards they slow down. The ground they're walking on seems less solid. You're standing by a stake. Two men in rags and cross bulges on their cheeks undo your handcuffs and then tie your arms around the central pole. The remaining villagers has interrupted their chatter and coming closer. What's all this about? Try to call for help. Help, help, help! That's all you manage. Damn smoker's lungs. Few of the fishermen openly laugh at you, otherwise nobody seems to even consider helping you. Finally, about time, someone shouts, annoyed, and drowns out all the other conversations taking place in the town square. Looks like someone finally managed to light a torch. Hade de inte ett facklor innan? Det här texten hänger inte ihop riktigt tycker jag. Solemnly the men march towards you and in awe the other villagers makes way for them. Not everyone in Innsmouth can light a fire. Two of the men remain with the other spectators and the torchbearer continues alone until he stands before you at the stake. He turns his back on you and begins to speak to the eclectic audience. Brothers and sisters. Yes, Abraham? Several people respond, which says a lot about the Innsmouth gene pool. Quiet, he growls immediately. I mean everyone present. Satisfied, he solemnly spread his arms. You can now see that the hand which he holds the torch is a single flap of skin wrapped around the log. The hour approaches, and before you stands our tribute to Dagon. We share the sacrifice and the blessing, for we are the faithful children of the... He falls silent. A dozen tourists walks out of the next alley along. The villagers look surprised and exchange baffled looks. Cry for help. Help! Hey, help me, please! Rescue me! You earn some deeply hurt looks from the villagers, but their feelings are not as high up on your priority list as, say, surviving this night. The tourist looks over to you with interest. The first few break away from the group and come closer. A young blonde man takes selfies with you and himself at the stake. Hey you! You scream at him. No one, absolutely no one wants to see you posing holiday snaps. Finally, someone speaks the truth, a voice from the crowd says. The man's jaw drops, but it drops in a way that lets you know that the whole stream of objections is about to rain down on you. Oh my god, he says with a motionless expression. The nerves of this hillbilly to talk to me. He turns his back on you and takes more selfies of the two of you. The worst thing about all of this is that he seems to think that you're from Innsmouth. Is this one of the medieval games like they do in Salem? They like to do that over in Europe too, with knights and stuff like that. Abraham rolls his eyes. Sure, he replies, but that turns out to be the wrong move. The tourist waves over his companion. The group of tourists assembles in front of the stake, which means that the locals can no longer see you. Some of the rough-looking men in fishing coats walks up to Abraham and speak to him, getting nervous. Listen to the villagers talk to the tourists. Listen. You have to overpower them somehow is the first thing that you can make out. A thin man in a striped wool sweater and tattered trousers speaks to Abraham. I mean, all these pictures, what if this gets out? Whatever, they'll think it's an act. And overpower them, just look at us, they knock us out. If you compare the illustrious mix of healthy and well-fed tourists with the hunchbacked, scarred people of Innsmouth, you doubt who'll win that fight. They bound me to this stake to burn me alive, you explained, with as much patience as you can muster in light of the circumstances. These people are clearly insane. Against your hopes, the group of tourists turns out to be of no help whatsoever. With polite interest, they listen to your explanation, which they consider to be part of the reenactment of the witch trials. You can feel a massive headache coming on. Like in Salem, squeaks an elderly lady with more enthusiasm than appropriate for the whole situation. Any last words? Abraham asks. 9/11 was an inside job. I love pineapple on my pizza. I regret nothing. I regret nothing. Some villagers gives you a round of applause. Puts the torch on the wood. Sight of the spreading flames makes you panic or brings you inner peace. Vad händer om man väljer inner peace? Oh, fire. The Nordi rebel among the four elements. Slowly approaching flames take you back to your childhood. Evening under the stars. Children watched on the TV. It doesn't take long for the pile of wood to be on fire. The heat is unbearable. Your skin hurts so much that you almost lose consciousness. But no such luck. Only when all your clothes are singed and blisters form on your cheeks does your circulatory system finally collapse. At the stake you burn alive. Never again cold cases. Cold cases. I get it. Oh boy. Jag ska bara kolla en grej lite snabbt här. Vilken pun. Ja, den var ingen vidare. Men jag tror vi tar pausar här nu. Då kan jag inte läsa högt mer. Så vi ska se här. Vi går tillbaka till main menu. Wow, vad är det här nu då? 33%. Harbor Beach. Buss, okej. Okay. Vad var det andra här då? Achievements, okej. Okay. Vi har fått en av... Det var sidonumren här. Jag har fått den här. At the stake you burn alive. Man kan inte se vad de här är som man inte har. Bad feeling. Return to Boston. Okej. Och det är en haj. Är det här alla slut då? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 gånger 3 plus 3. Nu har vi hittat 2 slut i alla fall. Då har vi ju tekniskt sett varvat spelet. Jag vet inte. Det slutet får vi leta upp, ja. Det måste ju ha någonting med stranden att göra. Det blir inte idag i alla fall. Man kommer ju inte hitta allihop, så jävla roligt var det inte. Det får jag ju erkänna. 2 slut på spelet är ju ändå okej, tycker jag. Ska jag se om jag kan hitta hur man hittar hajen sen. Men det får ju räcka nu i alla fall. Det här med 30 minuter, det måste ju vara att då läser man liksom inte högt. För det här tog ju mer än 30 minuter att hitta hjärtslut. Så att... Men, nu har jag gnällt färdigt. Nu ska jag gå och sova. Så ja, ni får ha det så jättebra. Och så tackar jag för att ni var här ikväll. Och så får vi se. Imorgon blir det nog ingen stream. Jag tror inte det blir någon stream förrän på torsdag faktiskt. Vi får se, jag ska kolla på detta i alla fall. Men tack så mycket för att ni var här. Vi hörs och ses.